what I've done is what was my vision, you know. And they always say that when you have a vision, you cannot overcome fears. Sometimes fear can take you away from what you want to accomplish in your life. And since I was young, I always have a dream and this vision that I want to becoming a medical doctor. And I told my parents about it. Since I was like in 3rd grade, I said, Daddy, I want to becoming a medical doctor. It doesn't matter how tall I am, but that was my passion. But until I arrived at Georgetown University, when I was minding my business, walking around campus, I was asked by the president of the university if I was interested to join basketball. Because I came to this beautiful country of the United States of America in academic scholarship. I didn't play basketball when I was young. I didn't like it. It was one of the sports that I hate. And, even though that sport helped me becoming who I am today, but I really didn't like it. But sometimes they say that men, we might have our own plan, but God's plan is much bigger than what we have. And I think that's what happened in my life. I always say, okay, I'm going to go to America, study medicine. When I finish, I got a scholarship from the United States Agency for Development, the USAID, and I came over here, started my pre-med classes, then I switched my sophomore year and to join the basketball team. Then after I realized that I have to play basketball, every practice was at 4 o'clock. And that was the time that I need to be in the science building to take my biology classes. So I have to make a strong decision, and I decided that I have to drop out from pre-med and go study diplomacy and linguistics. And I ended up graduating in 2 degrees in linguistics and diplomacy. And I'm not a diplomat. I just studied that for studying. But I think what I'm doing today in the world is part of the diplomacy. I'm carrying the message to the world, to everybody, becoming a great ambassador for great causes, for all those women and children that are dying, especially in most underprivileged country. And that's why I don't really speak that much about just Congo himself. I'm very big advocate about what is happening in the continent of Africa, where I came from, where the mortality rate right now is 42 for men and 43 for women. And more than 1.5 children continue to die every year because of the disease that we call malaria, something that you can be treated with maybe with $3 or $5, and the child can be saved. And with $7, we can give a family a mosquito net where they can be free from malaria from the mosquito bite. So when you start realizing that with the fortune that we have in this beautiful country here of the United States of America, you wonder yourself, what is your contribution in this world? And in that way, I've been a strong advocate about it. As you sit here in this beautiful club here, and you're having a nice fancy breakfast, in the same token, you have to realize, as I'm having this beautiful meal, how many kids around the world that they are going every day without food, and how many kids are going months without food. You don't have to ask that question now far, wonder what is happening in Africa. If the opportunity allowed you in your lifetime, just take a 2-hour trip from Atlanta to Haiti. Just just close here to the United States of America, where you can realize how bad it is, what it's like being poor. Because I was there in December to see people eating sand, eating trash, because they have nothing to eat. But you can't even realize how many diseases are there. And that's why I always felt that we all a great ambassador. We all have a gift on our hands. And that gift can separate us from being a millionaire or making a couple $100,000 in your lifetime. But with little bit, you can save a child, or you can save a woman who's dying in African continent who cannot deliver a baby because they don't have that $15 to make to the hospital. So you wonder how I was raised. I came from a father who made only $37 a month, who was a school teacher. He had 10 children and devoted himself to his family, found a way how can he teach his children the value of working hard and how to make it to the world, not just be having a dependency of your father and your mom. And that's something that inspires from my dad and my mom. And I learned how to earn something since I was 10 years old, selling bread in the market. So I kind of learned the notion of business in the youngest age. But that didn't allow me to stop thinking about those who didn't make it. And that's why I always try to spread my word. President Mandela said one thing, one of the best quotes 2 years ago. As we call him a Madiba, the great humanitarian being having lived in this planet. He said that the future of our society belongs to our hands. It's up to us, we as a human being, to do what is impossible to make sure that the generation that's coming behind are better than we were today. And those are things that we have to do as human beings. Anybody. You can be an Indian, Chinese, Japanese, white and black, whatever notion is. You have to make sure the generation that you're leaving behind can have a better life than we have today. And those are the things that I'm trying to do, and those are the things I'm doing. I'm so happy with the way the hospital is going. We start on the opening of the hospital, we have to raise more than $300,000 a month, just here from my office 2 blocks away, to send to the hospital. So it costs almost like $3.5 million a year. Today, I only have to raise $25,000 to $30,000 a month to keep my hospital open because of just the need of the medicine, of the pharmacy. And we've been able to cut our deficits because we have a vision. We knew where we want to be. We knew what the difference we want to make. We knew the contribution that we're going to make in the society. We made people believe in us because there was no hospital built in Congo in 45 years. And sometimes I wonder, where did I get this vision for me to go and build a hospital? I'm only a young man, only 46 years old. I have so much left for me. I could have done so much with my money. But I felt like I can have a major impact. Maybe by the time I'm gone, this generation will be happy that's coming behind me. And that's what I did. I thank you guys for coming. Please feel free to ask me any question about what I've been able to accomplish. Thank you so much. Anybody got a question?
I do.
Go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Shemaine Marshall. I'm a representative of Home Depot. I'm here, and as listening to your story, you come from a family, a pretty large family.
Yes.
You've been very successful. How are your siblings in regards to the mission that you're on? Are they in this with you?
Oh, yeah. Good question. Most of my family are, you know, in Africa, they say when you take the elevator up, like we are here, I forgot which floor are we on, because I came so fast in the building. You always have to make sure you send the same elevator down. It's one of the biggest African proverbs. And you can look at yourself in this room. Ask yourself, how many times you got the elevator and you make sure that you didn't leave that door open? That door you have to be closed behind you so that elevator can go down, because there's people who are coming from the parking lot who love to take the same elevator. And that notion was given to us my great-great-grandparents was passed on to generation. I was able, with my success and my fortune, to make sure that I elevate my family to a level, to a different class, and that's what I did. I have brought some members of the family to Canada, to Europe, my brothers and sisters. Most of my family are in Washington, D.C. My brothers and some of my sisters are here in Georgia. And there's only a few brothers and sisters still back home because not everybody cannot leave the village. You have to keep, otherwise our children will ask us, Daddy, when are we going to go home? And you have no home to take them. So that was very important. And that's why my dad didn't want to come to live to America for a long time until he got a little bit ill and sick. Then he decided that there's the only place they have to take care of him for whatever he was going on with his kidney. It was here in America. But we still have a lot of family back home. They're doing well. I had so many of them at the hospital. So a few of them work for me. I have 420 doctors and nurses. So I have to make sure that some of the family members go to school, make sure they're becoming a scientist so they can be able to work at the hospital as well. So those who didn't want to do it, they have to find a job somewhere else. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a student and staff member at KSU.
Yes.
I'm also from Nairobi, Kenya. So,
I just came from your country. I was there twice last year.
oh, okay. So the question that I have for you is that you gave us an African proverb, and we also have the African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. And as you were navigating this road of advocacy for those who don't have much underprivileged, there must have been some folks in your path for a reason and a season that mentored you to get you to where you are right now. Could you tell us a little bit about that, how important it is, and how you have done that in turn to mentor other young people to sort of have that path?
I'm glad you say that because in Africa, like you said, it takes a village to raise a child. That's why when you leave the village, you cannot forget where you come from. And when you take the elevator up, you cannot forget to drop it, to leave it go down. So I've gone on, with my foundation, we have opened up a bunch of, we build a school, we build a bunch of computer centers. We are the first to introduce a computer in a classroom in the Congo. We already installed about 4 computer classes and 2 in the university, one of them in a high school where I went to, the other one in a different school. We put a new computer center in a new medical school in the Congo, which is a Protestant medical school. We gone to the neighborhood, rebuilt a bunch of basketball courts that was already destroyed. Because when people see the Mutombo Foundation, people think only about, oh, the hospital. Yeah, the hospital was done maybe in the Congo. We have a school that we built in Soweto, which most people don't talk about that much in South Africa, which is far away from Congo. We have gone in partnership with a bunch of NGO all over around the world. Right now, we are planning to build more than 100 basketball courts in the South of Sudan with the NBA, where I'm partnering, where I'm working as well. Already 2 of them was built last year. We are trying to improve the life of people in Dadaab, in Kenya, and in the border between Kenya and Southern Sudan, where I got a chance to travel twice. I think it's one of the most heartbreaking places in the world. If you go there, you might think that you're not doing nothing in this world, that your contribution has meant nothing. I went to Dadaab 21 years ago. That's how long ago I've been going to Africa. My first trip to Africa was to go to see the refugee from Somalia that was living inside Kenya territory. Dadaab is a small village just there sitting on the border of Kenya and Somalia. The only place you can get there is by plane. There's no road. Either you walk, and your chance for being killed as you're crossing the desert, as you're crossing the national park by the lion and all the animals is maybe 80%. But you get there, you will see much more than 1 million people. You have been living there for 20-some plus years in the middle of nowhere. And everything you have to be brought to them by plane. It's very, 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 the condition very sad. There's no water, food, they have to walk a couple miles to go to the fooding, the World Food Program Center to get the food. When you visit, you have to see it yourself to make sure that, to feel the pain of the human being, the dignity of the human being. You say, I'm a human being, but why that person you have to be living in that way? And those are the things I do. You know, I travel almost every month. I just came from the trip from Southern Korea, where I spent 2 weeks devoting myself in a Special Olympic with children with intellectual disability, where it was the Olympic winter game. I didn't grow up in the snow, but I have to be on the top of the mountain every day at 6 o'clock, and spending time with kids with intellectual disability, making them feel happy, making sure that the world still loves them, the world care about them, and we're paying attention. Those are my passion. I felt that I'm making a difference. I don't just have to be always in Atlanta, but I can be also in someone else's life somewhere around the world. That's what I do.
I'm just curious, obviously you're in college playing basketball. When did you have the moment of getting the vision to build the hospital? What was the actual pivotal moment?
I always say that when I got out of college, I say I want to make a difference. But I didn't know what. So I said, okay, I told the commissioner, I said, as I got drafted, can we start making the trip to Africa with the NBA? So to raise the awareness of what was happening in the continent. And we made our first trip in '92 to South Africa. We were the first delegation in the sport to have a meet with President Mandela on the ground, just a week after he came from the prison. So we went there, met with President Mandela. We heard about his vision. He told us what he think about his country. He said that if he becoming a president, this way he wants his people to live in peace. He asked if there's more American sport and NGO, if they can start coming to America, to South Africa to help his beloved country. And the commission and I promised to him that we be coming to South Africa for the rest of his life and a continual life. So we've been going to South Africa for 22 years. We built more than 75 basketball courts, school, clinic. And those are the promises we made that we couldn't drop off. And we spread that thing around the continent. Then in '97, I was working as an international spokesman for CARE and about the refugee and the food around the world. We raised hundreds million. Then I realized that I was doing too much around the world, but my beloved country, Congo, was not getting no attention because it was a major dictator who was running the country. Mobutu was running the country the way he wanted, with the help of the CIA. So nobody was not really paying attention to what else was going on with population. So I said, I think I can make a difference in my country too, more people. Then when my mother died, a couple months after when I started figuring out what I want to do. My mother died because she didn't make it to the hospital, which was like 12 minutes away. Then I realized that more women will continue to die in this type of situation, and I can be someone who can prevent more of this death. And I went home, and I said, I visit as many hospitals as I can. I saw the condition. It was deeply poor, poor. No equipment. People were sleeping on the floor. Women were delivering babies at home, which they still. But right now, as we are talking in the Congo, about 40 to 45% of women choose to deliver a baby at home. Either the major hospital is too far, or they don't have the mean, which is right now it costs about $20 to deliver a baby, but they just don't have it. Because if your husband now, the average salary now is like $65 in the Congo, but if you make $65, then you have 5 or 10 kids, then you start realizing, okay, that next one, I'm just gonna call the midwife, live down the street, and pay the midwife $5 or $10, and she can help us deliver this baby and come in the middle of the night. Instead of call the taxi, spending another $5 to get to the hospital, then all that, when the midwife can just come with the scissors and the knife and get this baby out. And that goes on in the Congo. That's why more women are dying for all those pre-care conditions, prenatal conditions, and it's keep going on. We still have a lot of fight, and in '98, I decided I'm going to build a hospital in the memory of my mom, and it was a big challenge. Many people didn't want me to build a hospital, including the U.S. government, the USAID, the State Department, the embassy on the ground, the European Union. Everybody came to me, Dikembe, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us. You know, stop doing that. Why are you telling people you're going to build a hospital? Nobody never done it. Always either the European or the big NGO or USAID, some major sponsor, the World Bank, have financed the hospital. But we don't have, nobody ever built a hospital here. What are you doing? So I told them, I said, no, I'm going to do it. You don't need to be involved. Either you're going to be part of it. So I went to the World Bank, I went to Geneva, I went to meet with the World Food Program, World Health Organization. I went to New York to the UN, I went to European Union. Everybody, they just washed their hands away. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And then we start talking to a bunch of architecture firms around the world, the Korean, the Chinese, the European, and we decided the French was the best because they have built so many hospitals in Africa, so they understand more the condition. So we hired a French company named by the Louis Berger, and they went and designed a plan, and we raised money, and we built a hospital. So, including everything, it was like going to cost us $40 million. So I donated $24 million. I raised about $60 million to buy more equipment and all stuff. And today we have maybe the second best technology in African continent after South Africa. We just put a CT scanner, 64 slides, which is Siemens didn't want to sell to us, even though we did have the money. They said there's no technician can keep up with this technology. We repair every week. So I have to send 2 doctors to Germany for training for 7 months. Then I have to send 2 technicians to Dallas for training for almost half of the year. So now we have enough team, and Siemens was forced because they didn't have no more choice. When they saw that we have the money to buy the equipment, they was forced now to open an office in Congo. They only have an office in Ethiopia and one in South Africa. So now they have an office in Congo where they train some Congolese biotech people for maintenance of my hospital, because we bought almost close to $60 million medical equipment from them. So they didn't have no choice. So that tell you, one human being can change the society. It's not just the hospital himself, the building or the institution that's standing there. But if you look what the hospital have done to Congo, not just to create 420 jobs for doctors or nurses. You talk about all the biotech companies now existing in the Congo, all those chemical companies that existing in the Congo, because we have the best morgue, way to take care of the body when the loved one leaves us. We have the sewer, we have the water system, reservoir for like a 3-month reservation of water inside the hospital, underground. We have so much technology was put in the hospital, so many companies have to come in because they need a job. They have business right away. So when Louis Berger built the hospital, end up inviting all the European company to come installing because the hospital will exist as long as we live, and those business need the hospital to work. And now we have more pharmaceutical firms are opening in the Congo. I'm just happy what I've done, and I'm just happy with the love and the support that I continue to get almost everywhere I go to keep this beautiful institution open. If it was not from your support and your love, I don't think our hospital, because it's not mine, it was built for the people, will not exist. I'm just the chairman of the institution because I'm just running it because when I'm not here one day, somebody else will run it. So, any question?
Yes, my name is Felipe Rodriguez. I'm from Brazil, and I right now work with an organization that is a legacy organization from the '96 Paralympic Games, and we use the sport here in Georgia and around the world as a development tool for kids and people with physical disabilities. And actually, we do have a project in Haiti going on right now. But I would like to know your views on how the sports can play a role in the development of our people and around the world.
Thanks. I believe sports today continue to play a major role in our society. If you see the contribution of sport, let's give an example, the World Cup. Every time the World Cup happens, there's a construction, new stadium, and construction of road, hotel. So sports can change the city, change the society, change the country. There's a construction of the new airport. You go to South Africa today, they have a brand new 8 stadiums that was built for the World Cup. The airport becoming one of the second largest airport maybe in the world because of the World Cup. You see all of that. You see people who end up having a job, hotel that was built. So nobody cannot say that sport is not contributing in the world. Sport really contributes. I'm standing here as a witness to sport because if I didn't play sport, I could be a regular doctor somewhere in Emory, minding my own business downtown. You know, I might not have no time to come here because I got so many doctors, many patients. But sport made me to have the same visibility that I am on today. And sport made me today to save thousand lives. We have lost some lives, but we save hundreds thousand lives. To see more than 25,000 people are being treated at the hospital every year is already great achievement. So I think sport is really making a great impact to our society. That will encourage the parents, please allow your child to follow his dream if he have to play sport, but as long as he doesn't give up on his study. Because as my coach always used to say, son, the ball will stop bouncing one day. And when it stops bouncing, you got to make sure you have your bag with you. And your bag was the education. And I make sure that every kid, when I go around Atlanta, around America, around the world, make sure that every child get a chance to get an education. I tell that to my nieces and nephews, my children, cousins, everybody, no matter what. Don't just say, oh, Uncle Dikembe is there, he's going to help us. No, you got to know that Uncle Dikembe not going to keep playing ball forever. He's going to retire one day from basketball, and he cannot pay for your school. He cannot take care of you when you need $100, so you have to find a way to find your own means. So those are very important, that education remaining the key in any success in our life. And I'm glad that I went to one of the nice schools that I can use what I learned now. But are you talking about Brazil? Have you been home lately?
Yeah.
Did you see the changing, what is happening in Rio and Sao Paulo? Are they destroying all the favelas and to build all the new housing because of the World Cup? So that tells you how much the world is happening, because I've been in your country several times, so I know where the changing is happening. And fala Portuguese. Yes.
I'm Lou Schiffman from Atlanta Health Systems.
Yes, sir.
You obviously have a very busy schedule, doing a lot of traveling and involved with so many activities, but you look like you're in great shape.
You've been watching TV too much. Maybe you watch so much of Geico commercial. That was only for one day. I was just running up and down.
Well, I wanted to ask you if you could comment about your current fitness and nutrition program that keeps you in good shape.
For coming here, that was one of the reasons why I'm not working out today. But I work out 2 hours a day after dropping the kids to school, like 3 blocks away from here. So that's my current program. Every morning, soon as I drop my kids at 7 o'clock, I'm at the gym until 9:30. Then I go to my office until 6 p.m. But I always believe that as an athlete, you have to maintain your lifestyle that you have when you was a professional. Otherwise, you can bring... we live in a beautiful country of the United States of America, which I love so much. You know, that's why I have my children, my wife, and everybody here. But we still have to take care of ourselves as human beings. America is giving us everything we want. But this body that you see here is also a temple. You have to protect it. So you have to make sure you don't eat so much red meat, not many eggs, and all those products that they're giving to us. You know, I don't eat yellow eggs. I only eat white eggs every day. I eat oatmeal every day almost. I don't care if it's 7 days a week, and that's what I eat. I don't care if it doesn't taste good. And you know, some of my friends be like, Dick, why you always eat eggs? Why? I say, I don't care about they say. I'm just trying to avoid all of this because we live in such a beautiful society, but in the same time, what is being thrown to us is not helping us. And that's the job that we have ourselves as an American to do. We're fighting our own war with food, with our kitchen, you know. I try to stay away from my kitchen, but, you know, once in a while, that's what I do. But I continue to maintain. I tell people, if you don't have to go to the gym, even take a walk during the lunchtime, or take 15, 10-minute walk a day is enough already for you, just for your heart, not for nobody, nothing else. You're not doing it for your friends, or your cousin, or your boss. You're doing it for yourself. In the NBA, where I work at the NBA in New York, I work in New York, so even though I'm here, but I have to fly to work tonight. They encourage everybody 3 times a week to join the program, which is called NBA Fit. You have to take a walk up 20 blocks or 40 blocks in New York, part of the exercise. Even the commissioner does that to himself. So they felt that as an employee of the NBA, we don't have to represent not just one of the best athletes in the world who are jumping high and dunking on everybody, but we also have to be the example of that particular group. So they make us also, me, even though I'm a professional actor, they make us also work. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. Thank you.
He was worth waiting for. What do you think? Thank you.
It was my fault. I'm sorry.
No. We so appreciate you being here, and what an example you are to all of us. We have so much, and to see the way that you give back is such an example. And I just want to stand here. I like being next to somebody taller than me. So I like them. So thank you so much. We're so grateful for you.
Thank you.